This is Megaman, a blue warrior who once stood proudly with characters like Mario and Sonic in the early era of gaming. A character so popular, he now has over 130 video games. But throughout the years, Megaman hasn't evolved the same way other characters have. To me, he's felt very neglected and ignored in the past decade. And so that got me thinking, why did Capcom abandon this once beloved character? What made them just give up? Well, let's start in 1987 where Capcom creates their icon known as Rainbow Battle Kid. Nope, that's not right, that's a prototype name. Known as Megaman, or Rockman in Japan. The first game in the series didn't actually sell that well, probably because the box art makes Megaman look like a stoned 40-year-old uncle. It's terrifying and I would not buy this. But it just managed to sell over 1 million copies after the release of Megaman 2, which is when things started to get good. This game and Megaman 3 are known as cultural classics, known for their tight controls, incredible music, and intense difficulty. Nevertheless, the Mega Man series stood out with a unique structure. You could pick your own path, tackle robot masters in any order, and steal their powers. Now, the Mega Man games were notoriously hard, yet they were revolutionary for its time. They implemented a unique mechanic based on a rock, paper, scissors concept that allows players to strategize by using each robot master's abilities against others. This was a feature that set Mega Man apart in the late 80s and early 90s, and well, with Capcom recognizing this popularity, they leaned heavily into it. By the end of the 90s, we have 8 mainline Mega Man games, several Mega Man X games, Mega Man Battle and Chase, and a Mega Man Soccer. Is this any good? I've never actually played this one before. Now at this time, I'd say Mega Man was at his peak. Mega Man X launched in 1993, bringing a new protagonist known as X. This series was a more dark and mature version compared to the original, and when I tell you, fans ate that up. Mega Man X was an instant hit, leveraging the capabilities of new hardware to showcase advanced graphics, enhanced sound, and improved gameplay mechanics. Among all the Mega Man titles, this game holds a special place for me due to its captivating aesthetic. The richer visuals, smoother animations, and more expansive world truly sets it apart in the 90s. Also, the lore behind X is particularly intriguing. To summarize, X is a new type of robot developed 100 years after the original Mega Man. This evolution allowed developers to introduce fresh gameplay mechanics, including wall climbing, dashing, and a non-linear upgrade system through capsule power-ups. These additions brought a new level of depth and excitement to the series, elevating the experience for players and solidifying Mega Man X as a standout entry in the franchise. However, after pumping out several games over the course of a decade, around the late 90s, Mega Man's rivals were also evolving. Mario made the jump from 2D to 3D in Super Mario 64, which redefined platforming and set a standard for 3D games. Sonic took his first 3D steps in Sonic Adventure, Sonic Blast doesn't count here, and even other franchises like Zelda. Ocarina of Time was a complete game changer. These characters had adapted to the times and embraced new technology, making each entry feel fresh and exciting. But Mega Man, well, he didn't quite make the jump as smoothly. However, before we get into that, I want to talk about a company I've partnered with. Ever felt like this guy? Unenergized and tired. The best thing this fella could get right now is a boost of caffeine. Well, let me introduce you to GamerSupps. GamerSupps is a company that sells delicious energy supplements that will keep you hydrated and motivated for the entire day. I've been using their products even before they partnered with me. So, well, you can trust me that is actually a good product and not a scam. Anyways, today I'm here to let you know that for the next 48 hours, you can get your very own free samples for completely free when you use code JACKO that covers the shipping cost. That's right, it's free. But what if you're watching after the 48 hours? Well, my friend, you're in luck because you can still use code JACKO to get 10% off on all of your purchases. So head on over to GamerSupps now using the link in the description and go buy your very own socially acceptable cups and flavors. Anyways, back to Next Gen Mega Man. Here is where the problem lies. 3D Mega Man failed miserably. In 1997, Capcom attempted to evolve Mega Man and place him in a 3D environment, which created Mega Man Legends, aka the only 3D Mega Man series to exist. Technically, Mega Man X7 is 3D, but it's considered 2.5D, so it doesn't count. But the Legends series was praised fairly well. I myself played them, and they're actually pretty fun. So this leaves us with the question, why did Capcom never make another 3D Mega Man game? Well, after some research, I've concluded it down to 3 main reasons. Money, a shift in focus, and they just didn't know how to do it properly. Mega Man Legends didn't sell well, like at all. Despite the release of 2 titles, in 2007 they cancelled the 3rd game because it was just not a good idea from a business point of view. And at this time, Capcom had been seeing much more success in new franchises like Resident Evil and Street Fighter, which promised a greater return on investment. Now finally, Capcom faced difficulties to fully embrace Mega Man into a 3D environment. Although Legends had its strengths, it struggled to capture the tight gameplay that fans loved in the original side-scrolling titles. These combined factors left Mega Man in a precarious position. He was caught in the crossfire of a shifting industry and internal decisions, which in my opinion is a bunch of baloney. Because how come characters like Pac-Man get the 3D treatment and it works out perfectly, but characters like Mega Man, who I think would thrive in a 3-dimensional environment, just gets pushed to the side? It's a disappointing reality, because when you think about it, Capcom can definitely make a AAA 3D Mega Man game. Whether they go for the ultra-realistic look or the more Mario Odyssey type style, either would work. Although throughout the 2000s, Capcom was still releasing tons of Mega Man games. They had a formula for him that worked, but as the years went on and gaming tech advanced, the 2D formula that once made Mega Man popular now made him feel stuck in the past. Look, Mega Man has a huge legacy, but maybe a little too huge. Capcom went wild with spin-offs, pretty much creating their own Megaverse world. So instead of evolving one core series like Mario or Sonic, Capcom split Mega Man into multiple different franchises. This oversaturation meant that while there was always a Mega Man game around, it also became a lot harder to define who Mega Man really was. If you were to ask me who Mega Man is, I would say he's this little blue dude back in the 80s that absorbs powers and kills robot masters. But if you were to ask one of my mates, they'd probably describe who Mega Man X is. So where does that leave Mega Man now? In 2018, Mega Man 11 released, and it was a step in the right direction for him. We got modern mechanics and a brand new art style whilst keeping the core Mega Man experience. This jump is like the equivalent of the Mario series gone from Super Mario Bros. To New Super Mario Bros. Except it took Capcom 24 years instead of Nintendo doing it in 2. Mega Man 11 has become the best-selling game in the franchise, and it's actually good. Sure, going from this to this was a risk, but it needed to happen for the character to evolve. And so with all of this hype surrounding the new Mega Man era we had entered in 2017, what did Capcom do to keep this going? Nothing. I'm not kidding when I say this, but for the past 6 years, Capcom have only given us collection games. It's like they're terrified to do anything new with him. It hurts because they know the games they have made are loved by so many. Why else would you slap them all together and re-release them for a ton of money? I do not know if they're creating some revolutionary game behind the scenes, or if they're just doing everything they can to satisfy Mega Man fans without actually making a new game. And I say that because he just got announced to be added to Brawlhalla soon, as well as having his upcoming dedicated episode in the Secret Level miniseries that comes out very soon. Hey, maybe this is a sign that he's gonna get some miracle reboot or revival. Whatever floats their boat at Capcom, I'll honestly take anything at this point. But until then, Mega Man remains as a retro legend, failed by his own creators.